Hello and welcome to my October reading wrap up. I can't believe I'm saying this because where did this year go? I have no idea what I did this year, but this is not the time for my existential crisis. We're going to talk about that later. We're here to talk about the 7 books I read in the month of October. I think it was a really good reading month, even though I had a slump in between, and my brain is just like so zoned out about all the books I read this month because I was pretty much completely zoned out this month. So that's what happened. I spaced throughout October. The first one we're going to talk about is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. I absolutely adored this book. This was an easy 4.5 stars. Like, I gave it 4 stars when I finished it, but this is an easy 4.5 stars. I absolutely adore this book. It's so cute, it's so funny. I blushed out loud. No, I laughed out loud so many times. It's really just one of the most entertaining books I've read this year. I totally love both our main characters, Cassie and Frederick. I love the personality that Frederick has been given, like this really formal vampire, and I think it's really cute. I loved both of them so much. I was invested, I was hooked. I love this book. I'm a huge fan of this author, and I can't wait to read all the other books in the series. If the first one is this good, I am gonna just, my mind will explode when I read about the character I love the most who appears in this book as well. So started off the month great. Then the next book is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. So this is a bit of a classic, but I didn't love it as much as I'm supposed to. I just didn't connect with the writing style, and I don't connect to books when there are a lot of unnecessary descriptions about the surroundings, but I really liked Bilbo, our main character. I really liked the lore around all the different creatures like goblins and dwarves and hobbits. So that was fun to read about. I think the writing style was very whimsy, so that was also really fun. But this is just not my favorite fantasy book ever, coming from a total fantasy reader. So that was my one complaint with it. I just don't connect to just high stories and adventure stories. So I think that's completely my problem. But I can't wait to read the Lord of the Rings trilogy and see what I think about it. Next is my favorite book that I read in the month of October, and that is The Intruder by Freida McFadden. Freida McFadden's writing style is just so bingeable. Once you start reading her books, you just can't stop, and this is so good. I was hooked, I was invested, I was on the edge of my seat. The one thing that made this thriller stand out is the relationship dynamics in the story. I still think about the relationship dynamics. I literally go around college recommending this book to people because I am absolutely obsessed with this. So there are dual timelines in this book. There's one about this girl from an abusive household, and then there's another girl who's living in the middle of nowhere. She's a woman, she's living in the middle of nowhere, and there's a just storm coming and her house is falling apart, in the middle of all that a girl intrudes into her house and things just devolve from there. I love it so much. I genuinely love it so much, and I can't pinpoint what it is I love about this book, but the entire time I was reading it, I just felt like my heart was full and I was genuinely enjoying it so much. So if you haven't read it, please read The Intruder by Freida McFadden. It's genuinely one of the best books I've read this year, one of the best thrillers I've read this year. It's going to be worth your time. Then the next book I read was also one of my favorites this month, which was Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I didn't expect to connect to the story this much because I started off really hating the female main character. I forgot her name, but I kept reading for the male main character because I really liked him. I loved the yearning, and there's like a second chance romance. So all of it was really interesting. I really liked the writing style. I think the couple was really cute, really adorable together. I genuinely just enjoyed my time with it, and it literally flew by when I was reading the book. So I'm happy about that. I really enjoyed it. So the 5th book in the month of October was The Girls Are Never Gone. This is a horror book. This is my first horror book. I thought this was like a thriller mystery, which is why I picked this up, because horror is not my genre. I hate horror. I hate being scared. I don't know why people enjoy being scared. That's not my thing at all. But I ended up really, really enjoying this book, not for the horror, but for the mystery, for the thriller. I genuinely wanted to know what happens next, how the story ends. And I think the writing style was also pretty gripping. I felt the pacing was off, and the thing that attracted me most to this book was like a podcast element in it, which was not explored a lot, but I still enjoyed it. It was a solid 4 stars, and I would recommend it if like you're a beginner to horror and you would like to read something that's not that scary, but it's still in the horror genre. This is the book recommendation I'm gonna give you. I'm also currently 50% of the way through The Cruel Prince by Holly Jackson. Why do I keep saying Holly Jackson? By Holly Black. And I think this is also just going to be one of my favorite books this month. I love the political intrigue. I love the world building. I love a female main character. I love the atmospheric fairyland, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm obviously reading it for a vlog, so you're gonna see my full thoughts and opinions there when I finish this book, which will hopefully be today. So I'm counting this as my read in the month of October. But this is so good. This is so good. I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to get back to reading it, and it's honestly very, very addictive. Now for the two books, I soft DNF'd in the month of October. The first one was honestly such a disappointment because it's the Arcana Academy. I had such high expectations from this book. I love tarot cards, and the magic system promised me like a good tarot card based system, and that was there, but it was like that was not explored properly at all. I read 20% of the book, and the magic system came up maybe twice, and I hated the writing style. First of all, I think it was just flashbacks of how much I hated that book. And firstly, the writing style. Secondly, the female main character was so annoying. She had no reason to make the decisions she made, and I hate those sassy main characters that have no reason to be sassy, but and it's just like so skilled. I don't know where these skills came from, but she's just so skilled. I hate it. So I soft DNF this book 20% of the way. Then another book I read in the month of October that put me into my reading slump is Project Hail Mary. And before you make assumptions, I am such a huge fan of this book. I think the author is an absolute genius. I loved it. I love the humorous tone that this really serious sci-fi had. I love how it's playing out, but it broke my brain. At one point, I literally could not read any further because I did not understand what was happening at all. So my brain needed a break. It needed to refuel itself, science term, before moving forward, which is why I soft DNF this 75% of the way in, and I'm gonna go back into this book soon when I know that I'm in a position to complete it and do this book the justice it deserves by giving it a very, very positive review, because it's so good. It's genuinely so good. So those are the 7 books I read in the month of October, out of which 2 were soft DNF. So I don't know if you counted, but I do, because I dedicated a lot of my time to these books, so they deserve to be counted in the list. So yeah, this was a really good month overall, even though I don't know what I did this month at all. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope I see you in the next one. And please don't forget to subscribe and like, because it makes a huge difference. See you again. Bye bye.